Welcome back to live coverage here in Portsmouth of the Wildcrest Parks World Seniors Championships of 2012. These are the semi-final results. Nigel Bond has knocked out the defending champion. We spoke before about how Darren Morgan hadn't dropped a frame leading up to the semis. Well, he dropped two and it was enough for Nigel to go into the final, and he will be playing Tony Chappel, who came from a frame down to beat Dean O'Kane. Our final is between Nigel Bond and Tony Chappel, and that's coming up very shortly indeed. I'm joined by the great WT, who's next to me, and sandwiched in between us is that gorgeous trophy. That's what they are playing for, and of course a cheque for £18. I do apologise, for £18,000. They're of course playing for 10 grand in the final. The loser gets 8. Obviously that's at the back of their minds, because we've got two players in the final who will be desperate to win this. And one of them, let me ask you firstly about Tony Chappel, who we saw in the last semi-final. Just talking there about how long he's not played the game for. Said he really picked up a cue when qualification was happening for this, hadn't played. We know it's about 8, 10, 12 years. That's a long time for someone not to play snooker day in, day out, to get where he is now, isn't it?
Absolutely, and Tony Chappel is a lovely guy. I mean, we've known him on the circuit now for 30-odd years, and he's always been a player that... He's not a journeyman pro, but he's never been a top 16 player, never been in latter stages of finals or semi-finals of tournaments. So this match he's just won was a massive game for him. To get to a final of a world championship for somebody like Tony Chappel is an absolute... Well, it's a miracle for him, and now he's got a chance of winning it. Best of 3. You wouldn't fancy him over 9 frames against Nigel Bond, because he's on the tour, a regular tour player, and Nigel Bond's won tournaments before. Is it a lottery? We hear that word used quite a lot.
No, not a lottery. I mean, obviously you've got to get 2 frames, and you can't just fluke them, can you?
Yeah, I think the problem was with that match there, neither player got a foothold in the match. They were both kind of frightened to lose the match. In fairness, Dean O'Kane had enough chances to win the match, and the thing is that against Nigel Bond, he can't play like that. He's going to have to go a bit more for his shots, try and score heavily when he gets in. He's just not scoring enough when he gets in at the moment. We know he can. In his quarter-final game, he made an 80-yard break, so he is a good break builder.
How much an advantage for Nigel Bond will it be that A, he's been upstairs having a cup of tea, putting his feet up. He was there with both his feet over the arm of a chair with his shoes off as well, so he's obviously had time to relax. And also, last year he won the snooker shootout. He knows what it's like recently to get back under the bright lights and win a competition as well.
The thing is with Nigel, he's virtually playing every weekend in competitive play under television lights, and that's a massive difference, because, I mean, Tony Chappel's not played on a table this good for 12 years. So, I mean, the practice tables he'd be playing on in Wales in the league are just ordinary club tables that hackers like you would play on. So now you're playing on proper tables here.
Let me ask you where your money's going to be. This is the final. It's coming up in just a sec. Nigel Bond, well, the bookies think it's just a one-horse race, 7 to 2 on. You have to put 7 on to win back 2. Tony Chappel, 5 to 2, 2.5 to 1. It can't be as simple as that, can it, Willie?
If it was best of 9, I think I'd say Nigel was a good thing. I don't think 2 to 7 is a fair reflection with it being best of 3. So it is a little bit of a lever, of course, best of 3. But you'd have to say Nigel, with his experience, with his current match play form, would definitely be favourite to win. Well,
there's only one way to find out, and that is to join us live right after this break for That Remains. Cannot wait for this. It promises to be a great final. Let's get on with it and meet the players. Introduced by our MC, Mr. John McDonald. And first up is Tony Chappel.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You've joined us live here at the Mountbatten Centre in Portsmouth. Ladies and gentlemen, World Snooker proudly present the final of the Wildcrest Park World Senior Championship. It's 3 frames and our referee in charge of the action is Arion Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, time to meet the players. Well, 16 came and only 2 remain. Firstly, would you please welcome, having beaten Tony Drago, Dean O'Kane and Alain Robidoux from Swansea, Tony Chappel!
Choking from the smell of steak. And that cigarette you're smoking, I'm scared of you to death. Open up the window, sucker, let me catch my breath.
It's like deja vu, isn't it, all over again. Listen, you and I spoke, move the cue this time. You and I spoke about 10 minutes ago. Nigel's had ages off. What have you done in 10 minutes?
Not a lot. You can do in 10 minutes, is it?
When was the last time you were in a final of any level?
Oh, 100 years ago at least. I don't know, long time ago.
And what are you feeling? Are you feeling nervous? Are you feeling excited?
I haven't had time to feel anything, actually, when you rush off for 10 minutes and then come back. But no, I'm looking forward to getting on.
Can that be a benefit?
I'll tell you after. I have no idea.
Good luck. Tony Chappel, everyone. Good luck, Tony. Tony's opponent for the final is the wonderful Nigel Bond.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the former British Open champion, World Championship finalist, and the winner of the Sky Sports Snooker Shootout. Ladies and gentlemen, there really only is one Bond, Nigel Bond!
I'm just amazed you've got this far, and I've resisted all the 007 puns. I'm not going to do any tonight. Obviously, the lucky cufflinks are on, but earlier on when I went into the Players' Lounge, the shoes were off, the feet were over the side of the chair. You were chilling out, weren't you, Nigel Bond?
Yeah, I put my feet up, have a nice chill out for an hour or so while they were playing the second semi, so it was nice.
I'm just trying to work out if it's a benefit or not, being away from the table. Obviously, Tony was on it 15 minutes ago. He'll be used to it, but at the same time, slightly tired.
Yeah, obviously, I don't think it really matters now at this stage. You know, both of us just want to get on with it and play the final.
You feel like a winner tonight, Nigel?
Absolutely, yeah. I feel, you know, in the last few, you know, the last couple of matches, I've started to get going a bit. So, yeah, hopefully.
Good luck. Nigel Bond. Good luck, Nigel. If you have any questions you want to email in throughout the final, the boys in the commentary box will only be too pleased to answer them. Just send your tweet to @SkySnooker. Right, putting words to pictures for the final is the brilliant Neil Folds and the wonderful Clive Everton.
Nigel Bond is used to this kind of occasion. He's been in the World Championship final at the Crucible. He's won the British Open. But who could have dreamt that Tony Chappel would enjoy an evening like this?
Nigel Bond to break.
Chappel, I'm sure, would have regarded his snooker career as over when he retired from the tour 12 years ago. But the institution of the World Seniors Championship just rekindled a bit of interest. Enough interest anyway to try and get his game into some sort of shape. And it's been in good enough shape to get to the final. £18,000 for the winner, 8,000 for the runner-up.
Yeah, I mean, he was always a good player, Tony Chappell. Maybe not somebody that everyone is watching tonight had heard of during his career, but he was always a very solid player. I suppose the reason he would have retired, his game would have gone, he'd have probably, I guess he dropped off the tour at that point. And again, snooker, it comes out of your life, but it never really quite is out of your blood.
Bond caught that one a lot thinner than intended, which brings a red within potting range. it's a great story when one of the supporting cast, one of the chorus even, gets a chance to shine in the spotlight.
One.
Well, he might just try and drop this in slowly if he could, hold for the next red, but this table's quick. No, dead weight, that's fine. This is the kind of start he needed to be in first. He's up against an overwhelming favourite, as you heard. 7-2 on his opponent, Nigel Bond. That's
8.
Put you £7 on, you make a profit of 2.
Nine.
But Chappell has been pretty reliable when he's been in close. He's made some useful breaks, including one of 83 on his way to the final.
Excellent. Well judged. He's always a reliable player in and around the pink and black squad, actually. Thought when he first turned professional he was going to do probably better than he ever did. Very good amateur player in his day. Played in many tournaments around the country at the same time as Tony.
Four. $25.
Certainly not many moving parts where Tony Chappell's cue action is concerned. Economical backswing, but one thing about him, his head never
32.
moved on shots. The stillest of all, I would say, of anybody in the game. No head movement at all. It counts for something, that. Saying earlier with Willie, thought in the commentary box, it's a bit simplistic to say
33.
Keep your head still, but no, it's never a bad thing. It's just gone a fraction too far there. Surprised he didn't just stun it. I don't know if he could quite hold it with topspin. He's faced with the shot he has to play, and he's got to try and knock it in. Of course, if he misses this, he's probably clattering into reds. Would like to think that he'll play the pot rather than any kind of a defensive shot. Try and keep this break going. 33 won't be enough against Pond, I don't think. And it is as easy to go for the pot as it is any other shot, I would say. Although stretching across the table is not easy. It's on the thin side, he's overcut it. He's got out of it though.
33.
That's where just there were signs there that he was showing a bit of form,
31.
but the shot before was not a good one. This was always too thin.
Bond takes advantage of the touching ball. Now that kiss was cruel from Chappell's point of view. The second contact on the red that he played bunted the cue ball back. Bond's opening red.
One.
The red that's near the black spot probably ties the black up somewhat. Could try and move it here. It's not necessarily the shot. Didn't play it, but that's a terrible shot from Nigel. He's got a red to the middle, but he's not played that as well at all well.
8.
No, if he was playing on red to middle, cue ball should have been nearer to it.
Nigel Bond 8.
And Chappell will be relieved. It was only 8. Second consecutive safety shot that Chappell's had to think deeply about.
I wonder if Nigel fancies this red to the left middle. He knows that no guarantees will keep things safe, and he's been playing a little bit cautiously, I think. And even on that last visit when he didn't play the black very well, he could have played a red to the middle, but he played safe this time. Is he taking it on? I think he is. Well done. That's a good shot.
Shot clock in operation. Won't lift off. 6. 7.
Well, this will open up the other red, so
13.
certainly a chance to get right back into the frame. Whether he can win it from here seems unlikely where the balls are.
14. 20.
Been involved in a few memorable matches over the years.
21.
I think of many people remember the match where he trailed 9-2 in the World Championships against Cliff Thorburn, won 10-9, but the one I always remember is when he played Stephen Hendry at the Crucible and won on a respot 10-9 a few seasons ago. Very coolly knocked in the winning ball.
27.
I think that's the key word for Bond. Very seldom gets flustered in a match.
Got the lucky cufflinks on, they're doing some good work as well.
28.
cue ball just drifted on a little there.
Didn't intend to cannon the pink.
$33.
Did intend to cannon the reds on the side cushion.
And your bond, 33.
Couldn't get past the blue with his safety, but the red that he's left is certainly not an easy one.
Interesting shot to go for, because it has been a tremendous shot to get on the pink from there.
I don't know, I thought he overplayed his hand there.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe he's been hitting them well with the rest or something. Occasionally that comes into it.
Still, Bond misses a red, which was a reasonable proposition.
One. Yeah. This will be okay then.
Well, ideally, some kind of cannon on the black and staying on the red would be the order of the day here, whether it be directly or by the bottom cushion. I think that's what he's got to try to do. Any contact with the black, I think. Well, that'll do it. Didn't graze the red, but it was still a very nicely played shot.
7.
And from this red, we'll want to leave an angle to cannon another red.
$8.
Now this time, I think a cannon on the top red of the two. Try and push it over the middle pocket, and at worst, have a shot down the rail at the one below it. Perfect. Great stuff. Now, if he was really daring here, he'd roll the red down the cushion and win the frame. Unfortunately, that's a little bit too much, but it would be a nice shot, Clive, wouldn't it?
It would, and
16.
if he can get best possible position from the brown, then that would be what he would attempt.
Yeah, and the same kind of a shot. I guess the shot was already there. Anyway. Well, he's still got the shot, so it's no harm done. Although this time he's a little straight on it, and he can't really get the cue ball away from the cushion if he's going to run through. If he plays to screw it back, then it becomes a considerably more difficult shot.
Managed to pop it despite a slight kick.
Yeah, I agree, Clive. That definitely jumped when he hit it. Look at the low camera here. The cue ball, yeah, and the red just left the bed of the table briefly, but it didn't stop him. Here is the big shot of the frame. Naturally getting close to being on the yellow if it goes in.
Tony Chappel, 21.
Great effort, but Bond comes to the table with all remaining colours in possible positions. The frame could have swung on that last shot.
Two. Five.
Just a bit of work to do to get close to the blue, but I don't think he can from this. But blue to pink is the last difficult shot, really.
Nine.
It's not bad, although he didn't really want to be using the rest. He wanted to be able to reach over the table. There was still some hope for Chappel. Deciding that it's worth a time extension. Wouldn't want to be rushed into this shot.
Would like to have
14.
screwed back a bit further because he needs both pink and black to secure the frame. Pink would put him 7 in front with 7 left.
Yeah, I think he would probably...
Time extension, please.
No, I guess in this situation he would be happy to be a little bit further away from the black as long as he knew that the pink would go in. Because like you say, it would be a respot up worse for him. And he needs to think about this because this is the last extension and he's undecided. Yeah, but I think he did the right thing there. He knew that he was 7 in front. He didn't want to play it slowly. Would have made that a more difficult pot. Chappel needs the black twice if he gets the chance.
This for a 1-0 lead. It wasn't easy,
Nigel Bond, 20.
and for the sake of insurance, he took the cue ball away towards the baulk cushion very sensibly. This to tie.
Well, I have to say, I think that was a little unlucky. I think it cuts in, but he got very close to the pot there. Nigel hasn't got an extension left, so he needs to get his skates on.
Just half a second of alarm, but the cue ball stays out, and Nigel Bond leads Tony. World Seniors Championship final. Nigel Bond has taken the opening frame on the black. A possible 2 more to play.
Thank you. The second frame. Tony Chappel to break.
Well, double kiss is always on there. You just wonder if The way that last frame went was the one chance Chappell had if he took the first frame and got to the front. Did get in first in the last frame. He's in again now, though.
1.
Having to inject that much pace without the full pocket opening to go at, you have to be spot on. Okay, but behind the black would have been perfect.
I just wonder if Nigel's got that shot here, Clive, to shake the cue ball in behind the black or the green or the brown. A big target here. That's what he's tried. Didn't hit it too badly. Not quite there, though. Nigel would have been one of the favourites for this tournament from the beginning. Most of the bookmakers couldn't really decide. About 4 players on co-favourite positions, of which a main tour player like Nigel had to be one, I guess. That's an excellent shot from Chappell. Kind of a shot I mentioned, the one before, that Nigel might have got.
That shot from Chappell showed that no matter what you lose, if you don't play all that much, you don't lose your knowledge.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, Nigel's still active on the tour, so he's sharper of the two, but you're right, you never forget your way around the table and the shots and what they involve and the percentages, although I guess as you play less and less, the percentages that you fancy potting go down a lot. But you have to go for some shots. Well, that's he's found a way of getting to the bottom cushion. He had no idea how.
No, luck was on his side there.
Saying earlier on that, and I spoke to Nigel about this yesterday, that of course there was the strong chance he wouldn't have been here because of the fact that he, in the international, was way ahead of Peter Ebden in qualifying. He was 5-1 up, he was saying, and he managed to get beat. And he don't know if he'd have been here, he'd have been presumably over in China now, competing in that event.
Yes, that's a thought. One person who isn't competing in China is Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's withdrawn at the last minute through illness.
Well, it comes down to people not being able to be in 2 places at one time. Not O'Sullivan, but in the case of Nigel Bond. Well, that's he's a bit lucky to finish where he has, because he definitely glanced that red on the left cushion.
Well, red to middle might have looked an easier pot, but it carried an awful lot of danger, more than the one that he attempted to corner. Yes, the so-called big pocket.
Six. Seven.
Bond just looking to see whether the pink is potable to right corner.
14.
Yeah, I think from that we can gather that it certainly does. And if it was a bit, he's got the kind of angle here where he could go into the little bunch of reds. There you see, off straight, he could run through and try and dislodge one or two of those maybe. Hope for the best perhaps. Doesn't have to play it. And you do wonder if he would get stuck on a red, because it's the kind of situation where he might, but he just might get lucky. The shot is on if he wants it. A little run through, a bit of topspin. I think he's playing it. Well, that's nicely done. He didn't try too much there. And if he's straight on this, he can run through, play on the pink to the left middle.
20. One. 27. 28.
Now he's getting closer and closer.
Shot clock in operation.
Now, is he clinging on that red, or can he get through? His body language says he's got a shot. If he's on this, he could get onto the pink. Well, I tell you what, now he may complain, but he definitely rushed that shot.
33.
He just got down and hit it. I'm not saying it wasn't a kick, but he definitely hit that ball very quickly. What a chance that was.
1.
Ah,
20 Chappel 1.
can't afford an unforced error like that.
Well, again, playing from the cushion rail rather than hand on the bed of the table makes all the difference. Nigel lucky to get away with just leaving one there. Could have been a lot more.
Yes, it was near the cushion, not quite on it. I thought he would pot that. But the tension of the moment, of course, makes a difference to the outcome.
I'm not sure how he thought he would get back to baulk there. I'm sure that was the plan. But he hit almost every red on the way through.
Bond 31 in front. You get the feeling that a red and good position on the colour, and he would clinch the match.
Can't quite administer the killer blow at the moment though, Nigel, can he? Well, I can be honest, I can say that I don't think he's actually played anything like his game, Nigel. He's just generally a little sharper than a lot of the guys he's played. But I've seen him play a lot better in the last 6 months or so.
Good long red from Chappel, who never has lacked anything in determination and tenacity.
I have to be honest, Clive, I thought he would definitely go for the yellow there, and I don't know how he's going to win the frame by playing safe at this point, because 30 points behind, he needs to make things happen.
He was trying to lay a snooker but didn't manage it. As it was, it wasn't an awkward safety that he left Bond, although Bond hasn't played it particularly well. Another solid red, but not on the colour as he would like.
Foul.
Couldn't afford that.
20 Chappel 1. That's right. Nigel Bond 4.
Now that's a good one from Nigel. I wonder if we're going to see the new seniors world champion in the next 5 minutes or so, because this is a good chance to finish things off. He likes the Sky tournaments. 2011 winner of the Sky Shootout was £32,000, and well, less than a couple of years later might be picking up another 18 grand here.
Eight. 14.
Red and a pink would see Bond past the post, barring snookers.
15.
And rather as you predicted, Neil, Tony Chappell's challenge after that
21.
very interesting first frame, which he lost on the black, has faded in this second frame.
Yeah, it's a shame. He's played ever so well. He's done remarkably well as a qualifier, although, of course, talking of qualifiers, Nigel had to qualify as well. So it'll be the second year running somebody who qualified has won it, because Darren Morgan was in the qualifiers last year. But yeah, good to see Tony Chappell playing snooker again, but I think there's no doubt that the better player is about to win this.
Well, it's the most forlorn of forlorn hopes. 61 behind, 43 on, but it is the winning frame, so might as well give it a go. But I've really enjoyed this weekend. I think everyone has. Old friendships have been renewed. We've indulged our taste for nostalgia, and we've seen some highly competitive snooker.
No, I quite agree. It's a great concept, and hopefully we'll do it all again, because it is good to see everybody in our snooker world, which, as you say, we've kind of known each other all our lives, really. Some of these guys I grew up playing junior tournaments with, and now all these years later we're seeing them at senior events.
It's always good, I think, that players of old have a reason to return to the game and not be lost to it altogether. Some of them go into coaching, some just disappear, but this is an invaluable event in helping to keep the snooker family together.
Well, it's not a snooker, sadly.
Nigel Bond is going to emerge as World Seniors champion without having lost a frame in the entire competition.
Nigel Bond, 1 frame and mark.
There it is. Nigel Bond came into this tournament as one of the favourites. He's still on the main tour, the world number 45, and that shows, because his experience, his consistency was enough to carry him through the field to the title of Wildcrest Park's World Seniors Champion. Tony Chappell has become the hero of the part-timers this weekend. I think he played better than he ever thought he would, and he certainly never expected to experience a spell in the spotlight such as the one that he's enjoyed tonight. Tony Chappell is going away with a cheque for £8,000, which I think I'm right in saying is the biggest cheque he's ever earned as a snooker player. Nigel Bond pocket 18,000. He made his experience tell, and he's ended up a worthy champion. So now we're ready for the presentations. Over to John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now the presentation. Would you please welcome the Chief Executive of World Snooker, Mr. Steve Dawson, the Chairman of the WPBSA, Mr. Jason Ferguson, and from our title sponsors, Wildcrest Parks, would you please welcome Alfie Best. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the runner-up receiving the silver medal and £8,000, Tony Chappel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the winner, receiving £18,000, the magnificent trophy, but most important of all, the title of Wildcrest Parks World Senior Champion 2012, Nigel Bond! So, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome our host, Mr. Andy Goldstein.
Ladies and gents, I think you'll agree it was a wonderful final. Let's hear it for both players who made it just a great night to remember. For Nigel Bond and to Tony Chappel. How's it feel, champion of the world?
Yeah, it's obviously seniors, but yeah, it's good. Great feeling, great feeling. It's been a great weekend. You know, all the players have enjoyed it, and obviously I have especially.
Rate your snooker for us over the last 2 days.
I think I played a bit scrappy, to be honest, yesterday, and really probably only really got going sort of the second frame against Tony, but then I felt like I'd got a nice rhythm, and I was playing great on the practice table, but sometimes it's not always easy to, you know, to put it out there on the match table.
And £18,000 in the bank. I'm guessing your phone will be ringing from the bank manager as soon as you get off the table. What are you going to do with the money?
I don't know, but obviously it'll come in handy. That's, you know, pay the bills.
We'll come back to you for one final word, but for the time being, your new champion of the world, Nigel Bond, everyone. Tony. Tony, commiserations. Sadly, it wasn't to be your night, but congratulations on a wonderful weekend of snooker.
Yeah, thank you. Really enjoyed it. Got further than I certainly expected to get, so real bonus. Lovely to be here.
Can you put it down to any reason as to why you couldn't just make that final step, or was it to do with the fact that you'd only just got off the table, or the better man won in the final, do you think?
Better man definitely won. Nigel's a tour player, and you could see the way he was on the table. He was playing like one and looked like one, and that was the difference, really.
And for someone that hasn't picked up a cue for a long time, £8,000 is not bad either.
Not bad at all, no.
What are you going to buy? It's going to be a good Christmas.
A pint first, that's for sure.
For everyone.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you.
Hey, listen, congratulations. Can't wait to see you next year as well. Commiserations as well. The brilliant Tony Chappel. The final word has to go to our new World Seniors champion, Nigel Bond. Last year you won the snooker shootout.
Yeah.
This year you've won the World Seniors. Where do we go from here, Nigel?
I don't know. Obviously, the Sky TV has been been lucky for me over the last couple of years. So obviously the next tournament, are quite a few qualifiers and PTC events coming up. So busy right up to Christmas, really.
Congratulations, thoroughly deserved, brilliant play over the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the last time tonight for your new World Seniors Champion, Nigel Bond. Well done, Nigel. A wonderful performance by Nigel Bond, the new World Seniors Champion. That is obviously not the end of snooker on Sky. We have lots coming your way. The Premier League continues on Sky, as it always does. We're coming up to the finals weekend of that. We've got a few more league matches to go, but Thursday, November the 8th is when you can see more of the Premier League. It's Mark Selby against Sean Murphy, and then Judd Trump against Mark Allen. That's when it continues. Sky Sports 4 from 7:30 on the 8th. Neil Foulds has joined me at the foot of the table. The players behind just collecting their stuff. Nigel Bond's had a few pictures as well. I'm sure we'll be seeing those in the papers. Thoroughly deserved. Commiserations obviously to Tony Chappell, but brilliant performance from Nigel Bond.
I think so. He was one of the favourites for me from the start, but it was quite difficult to decide. And I guess a main tour player would always have an edge. It's great to see Tony Chappell playing again. He was a very good player many years ago, and it's good to see him back. Maybe one match too many for him. Nigel was just too sharp on the night, wasn't he? And as he said, he enjoys playing Sky events. Now he was the shootout champion, the seniors champion. Loves it, doesn't he?
Someone upstairs likened Tony Chappell's performance over the last 2 days to that of Rocky Balboa. Hung up his gloves and he came back and knocked everyone away.
It's an interesting way of looking at things. I don't think he's ever been called Rocky Balboa before in his life, Tony Chappell. But he's just a nice story. And it's really good to see him. I've not seen Tony for years. And when I saw him yesterday, he said, I've no idea how I'm going to play. I know that feeling. I played last year as someone that doesn't play anymore, and you just have got no idea what's going to happen. He probably didn't expect to get this far, but $8,000 and a bit of television coverage, and he'll go back to his laundrette business, whatever it is he's got in Swansea, a happy man.
Just to explain to people at home that when you haven't picked up a cue for so long, because a lot of these players that have played over the weekend are constantly playing, they haven't sort of retired, they haven't put down the cue. He hasn't played for a long, long time. How difficult is that to do?
Very difficult, I would say. Interestingly, a qualifier's won the last 2 years. Now, Nigel had to qualify. Whether he should have done or not, it remains to be seen. And of course, last year Darren Morgan qualified. So the people that we expected, the Steves and the Jimmies of this world, well, they've fallen short, haven't they? The game is stronger in depth than what we believed, I guess. And all these guys know the game inside out. That's the other thing Tony had in his favour, is that even though he doesn't play anymore, he knows the shots and he knows the game. It's just a question of playing them.
Surprises over the weekend. I mean, we were coming into today's play with one world champion out the four, Steve Davis. He come up against not an informed Darren Morgan, but Darren's always difficult to beat, and a lot of people fancied him to make it 2 out of 2 this year.
I think it became a little bit of a surprise how much Darren struggled today. He was quite poor in the first frame against Nigel, who was too sharp. I think the bookies even made Darren favourite, and he's not on the main tour, so it was a surprise how Darren played. The other shock was Jimmy being beaten for the first time ever to Dean O'Kane. They played all those years, and it's taken all this time for Dean to beat him, and that was a great match.